Well, hello, State Champs viewers, and welcome to the first episode of West Side Elite. I'm Ryan Terpstra. Alongside me is Scout.com's Midwest recruiting coordinator, Allen Trieu. Allen, welcome to the show.
Yeah, glad to be here.
We are out in the internet, so whether you got us on your phone or you're just watching on your computer, we thank you for taking a look at this. This is a show that's going to come out weekly. We're going to take a look at what's going on the west side of the state of Michigan in terms of high school football. And we kick things off at a game that both you and I are going to attend coming up on Thursday, and that's Walled Lake Western versus Lowell.
Yeah, excited to see that one. You don't get Walled Lake Western on this side of the state very often. They have a pretty outstanding recruit in Cody White, so I'm interested to see how the Lowell defense does with him. I think they're going to shadow him with Gabe Steed, who's an outstanding football player. I think a big year out of Steed, and he could pick up maybe some Division I offers, definitely at least a D2 guy, so I'm interested to see how he performs this year.
These east side, west side matchups are extremely interesting, and we're going to be sticking with that theme as we talk about the different games that we're interested in. The next one is going to be one that you'll be attending, and that's on the east side of the state. East Kentwood going over to face Farmington Hills Harrison. East Kentwood, maybe the surprise the OK Red last year just in how good they were. They return a coaching staff, which is great news for them because they've been trying to find that right mix, and they've got some great players now facing off against Farmington Hills Harrison.
Yeah, I saw them scrimmage last week, and they have some skill guys that can definitely do some things in space, but it all starts up front for them. Trenton Fincher, 6'9" offensive tackle. Kid on the other side, not a lot of people know about yet. Turner Ruby's going to be a junior, 6'5", 285 pounds, so those two big bookends. They're going to have quite the test. And Alabama commit Khalid Kareem, so interested to see how those two guys perform against him.
Yeah, you think about your first game of the year. You've got one of the best D linemen in the country you got to face off against. Very interesting matchup in that one. Last year, well, maybe one of the best games I was at was one of the first games I was at. It was Detroit Catholic Central coming over to Hackley Field to play Muskegon. Muskegon squeaked that one out. Now they're going over to play Detroit Catholic Central, and you saw Muskegon scrimmage recently.
Yeah, and they're replacing some parts there on the offensive line and at quarterback, but those guys are very talented. Antonio Pimpleton is the new quarterback. Only lost one game as a freshman and sophomore. Very tough kid. He's not real big, about 5'8", 5'9", so I don't know if he's going to be like a high-level recruit. He's going to be an outstanding high school quarterback. I think the key for them, Catholic Central is very experienced. So how well does that new offensive line gel, and how does Pimpleton maybe shake off those first game jitters? That's not an easy game to be your first one as varsity starter.
Definitely not. And you were telling me, you're talking about that new offensive line. They've got some interesting guys, not only a lot of starters back, but maybe some guys that they can mold a little bit.
They have a couple of freshmen and sophomores that go over 300 pounds, and their left tackle is a transfer from North Muskegon, 6'7", 275 pounds. They think he's going to be a Division I recruit. So Pimpleton's going to have some big guys in front of him, and actually that may help him. It's going to be hard to see that 5'8", 5'9" quarterback running the veer behind those big boys.
Yeah, shades of Deshaun Thrower, who is not a very tall quarterback, but he was a very effective one for Muskegon. Last game we're going to talk about is maybe one of the biggest games in terms of a lower division school facing another lower division school, but two classic programs. Jackson, Lumen, Christi seems to always be there when it comes state finals time, facing West Catholic, who has recently always been there and has won recently. So Lumen, Christi coming over to Grand Rapids. I'll be at that game covering it for State Champs. What do you expect out of this one? I know you know the West Catholic program pretty well.
Well, they have a new quarterback coming in, a new old quarterback. David Fox has been on the varsity for a couple of years, but he's been more of an athlete, utility guy for him. With Travis Russell moving on, he takes over as the full-time quarterback. Going to bring a little something different. He's more of like your Tim Tebow type of guy. I think he's going to put his head down, get a lot of tough yards. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks also start at strong safety, and he's a hammer of a strong safety. So interested to see how Fox does. Got some good weapons to work with. Connor Nemmers is a receiver that's coming back that's going to be an excellent skill guy for them. Carl Myers, offensive line, defensive lineman, has got an offer from Air Force, so he's a Division I guy. So I think West Catholic is going to be West Catholic, but maybe a little bit different look with Fox at the controls rather than Russell.
Yeah, but when you have a guy like Nemmers, who's definitely a great receiver for them last year on that state title winning team, you know you've got that safety valve. It's going to be interesting. I think that's a great matchup for West Catholic.
And you know what? In the scrimmage, they were running some two quarterbacks in the backfield at the same time, so you might see a little more trickery out of them than usual.
That fake field goal, still in my mind from 2 years ago that they were able to pull off at Ford Field. This is West Side Elite. I'm Ryan Terpstra. That's Allen Trieu. Every week we're going to talk about the best teams in West Michigan, the top players. Allen, of course, with Scout.com has the ins on all the recruiting that's happening. And just let you know what's going on over on the west side of the state as the teams march forward. Some great matchups in week one. We've also got some great ones in week two, and that's what we'll be talking about next week. Please join us on StateChampsNetwork.com. For Allen Trieu, I'm Ryan Terpstra, and thanks for the download.